There is a real Olympian Lisa Curry, isn't there?
Yeah, that's why I'm Olympian Lisa Curry, because she took Lisa Curry on all socials, so I took Olympian Lisa Curry. So wait, am I okay to try the tea?
Yes, of
Oh my
course. Yeah.
gosh. Okay,
Let's talk about
there
it.
you
Okay. The tea I chose for you is one of my favorite teas in the whole wide world. It's Mariage Freres Pleine Lune tea.
It is delicious.
We nailed
That
it.
is excellent.
Okay, that's it. That's
That
the
is
pod.
excellent.
We're done. As long as you like it, then we send people home.
That's a top 3 for me.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
You a big tea drinker?
I drink a lot of tea because it keeps me from just like, because I'm like, well, I don't want to just sit at home and just like have a cocktail because I'm bored of water, you know? I don't want to be one of those people that's like, I'm just going to get hammered because I'm bored. I'm like, well, I'll drink tea, so it's something a little different.
Is it sad? I don't know what age I was when getting hammered was just a cure for boredom. I don't know when it was, but it's here. Like, it's definitely here.
Yeah, I don't know when that happened, but I find that like, I found myself like, oh, I guess I'll just have a beer. Maybe that was, you know what? I did a lot of that during lockdown where I was just like, I mean, what else am I going to do? I may as well have a margarita at 2 p.m. It's not like I fucking work anymore, apparently. You
No,
know,
that's
and
what
now
the
I'm like,
lockdown's about.
oh no.
Yeah, you're like, no, the lockdown's done.
Yeah.
But before I forget, for those steeping at home, because our steepers steep at home.
Love it.
I love how I look at you and point at the camera.
Uh-huh.
For those steeping at home, I would go 200, not 212, because it's a slightly more delicate tea. You could do it from like 3 to 5 minutes, I would say, on the lighter end. That's just me. That's how I operate. Unless you want it really caffeine-y, at which point, like, go for 6. What do I,
Sure.
I'm not here to tell you what to do.
I don't know. See, I'm like, here's the thing. I was a barista for years and I was also a bartender for years, but I don't like the whole, I know you're supposed to do like a lower temperature for like white teas and a
Sure.
higher temperature for black teas.
Yeah.
And that's where that ends. I don't,
You're like, I'm done
no,
after
when
that.
you said 200, I was like, what?
So what's so funny is like, here's my problem with tea culture. Okay, can I rant for a second? I swear. By the way, if you think that we're like not going to talk about the Polish princess,
No,
we
I
are. I just want you to be prepared for that.
No, I
So,
love this. Yeah.
keep it in your head.
Uh-huh.
The reason that more people don't drink tea, in my opinion, is because there's such a hoity-toity, obnoxious nature to tea drinking, where it's like, well, it has to be brewed at this temperature and for this time, and it should have notes of whatever the hell. And then people are like, cool, if I want a cup of coffee, I just brew a cup.
Well,
and it
also
takes
like a
me-
basic like shitty 7-Eleven coffee. It's like you put cream and sugar in it. You know
Sure.
what you're gonna get.
Of course.
If you have like a Twinings chamomile tea, you're like, ugh, this is the worst thing I've ever tasted. Who likes chamomile? And then you have a really good one, and you're like, oh, this is a different experience entirely. And not like I put honey and like a little oat milk in my black tea, but
Love
never
that
in.
you did that.
Yeah, but, oh, thanks.
Love it.
But I would never like chamomile or green tea. I just have plain, so I'm like, it's got to taste delicious. 'Cause there's
Absolutely.
nothing to mask the flavor.
So the problem is also like a lot of people are like drinking, and this is not me talking shit, but like a lot of people are like drinking like Lipton, being like, I don't love tea. I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't love that either.
Yeah, you're like, because you're not drinking tea, you're drinking like dust that's like in little sachets. Is that how you would say? How do
Yes,
you?
Yes.
Is this the word?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Okay, everyone. So,
So there's a reason it's $5 for 600 of them.
yeah, I was gonna say tweet at what is it? Hey Lisa Curry, something like that.
Oh, that's a different thing. That's my Twitter is Lisa_Curry.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
then my
By the way, can we talk about your branding? By the way, yeah, it's a Lisa_Curry in one place. It's Hey
I
Lisa
hate
Curry
it.
somewhere else.
Well, I didn't. Here's
It's
the thing.
Olympian Lisa Curry
Yeah.
somewhere else.
It's Olympian Lisa Curry everywhere but Twitter. But because
There is a real Olympian Lisa Curry, isn't there?
yeah, that's why I'm Olympian Lisa Curry, because she took Lisa Curry on all socials, so I took Olympian Lisa Curry.
Is that really true?
Sort of Christ.
That is the greatest story I've ever heard.
Thank you.
She took yours, you'll take hers.
I'm like, she took our name. Also, what fucking business do you have being like she has 15 Olympic medals? Put Olympian in your. That would be on my birth certificate if I
Yeah.
had 15 medals.
Instead of putting like Mr.
joking?
under salutation, it would be Olympian.
Yeah. It would be medalist. That's
Oh,
how you
medalist.
would. That's how you would
Does she have a
Speak to me.
gold?
She has gold, but I don't remember. I want to say like 3 gold and then the rest are different. I mean, collect
Okay, so
all of
she's
them,
not
you
that
know?
impressive.
Yeah,
Just
I know,
3
right?
gold. Ugh. What was her event? I'm dying to know.
Swimming. And what's funny is I was a swimmer all through high school and I was a lifeguard and we're the same height. She's also blonde. She has like piercing blue eyes. And she's also like shredded.
Yeah, my least
She's
favorite
an
part
Olympic
about
athlete.
you is your lack of piercing blue eyes. That's been my big issue with you generally.
She I have had friends tag me in articles about her thinking it was me. And they were like, one friend was like, congrats. And it was an article about her dating an Elvis impersonator. And I was like, you should never congratulate anyone on that, let alone me. Also,
Um,
that's not me.
was it a really good impersonator? Like,
Oh, I don't know.
because I'm a little more open to it. Like, I don't. If you had said to me 2 years ago, like, "Hey, I'm dating an Elvis impersonator," I would have been like, "Cool," and then turned to someone as soon as you walked away and been like, "You heard that also, right?" But after seeing the movie Elvis, I'm kind of like, well, he was pretty handsome. Like, that guy was Austin Butler, I think his name, handsome guy. If that were the
Yeah.
impersonator, I'm not fully opposed to it.
Yeah, I would still be ashamed of his career as his partner
Sure, yeah.
because you need to be. You
My
need to
partner
be.
is, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. She's like, sorry, I'm busy tonight. Yeah, my fiance's podcasting. Yeah, I think that's, so I think I've got that locked,
Hilarious.
I mean, like that's when you, and tell me if this is inappropriate and we can cut it
No,
if
go
it is.
for it.
Are you single or in a relationship?
Single.
Okay. When you're single, do you lead with like, I have a podcast? When does it come up when you're like, or I do comedy, or do you
Ooh.
avoid
Um,
bringing it up?
you know what? I took like when I am on apps, I'm not currently, but when I am,
You're missing nothing, by
I
the way. Yeah.
put yeah, I had taken comedian out of my bio because of the percentage of men that the first thing they say is like, "Tell me a joke. I bet I could be a comedian." And I'm like, "This is so exhausting. I just can't. I can't. It's like not. It's not even fun to use as like a filtering process to not talk to those guys
No.
because it's such a high percentage that I'm like, this is exhausting actually."
That's
Um,
insanity.
yes.
But here's the thing. This is gonna sound terrible. It's insane, and yet, like, I'm not fully surprised by what you're telling me.
Yeah, you know what? I used to be gentler about it, but now, like, if I'm on a date with a guy and stand up comes up, I will say 95% of men will go, I could do that.
Are you serious?
People always tell me I could do stand up, and I will look at them and I'm like, you could not. You could never.
So we are so different in our approach. When people tell me that, when people go, people say I could do it, I go, cool, go do it.
I used to.
No,
I used
go
to. And
nuts.
now I'm just like, no. Well, also because I'm like, I'm in my 30s. Like if you've been thinking about it your whole life and you're a 45-year-old man, you still haven't done it, you're not going to do it.
No, unless you're Rodney Dangerfield, I
Unless
don't
you get
think
a
you're doing
divorce
it.
and you go through like your midlife crisis and you can't afford a Corvette or whatever. And then I guess you'll go to an open mic and ruin my life.
I was gonna say, so I don't think that I would be the one who's buying the Corvette. So I'm in my 30s and I do need to plan out.
If you split with your fiance, she would have to buy it for you
Yeah,
for your
oh yeah,
midlife
100%.
crisis going away party.
Listen, I plan to be with her for the rest of my life, but I will tell you this, like I am in my 30s. I'm already thinking about what I should have as a midlife crisis. Like I haven't fully landed on
Ooh, yeah.
something, but like I do want to have something really cool.
Here's the fun thing about comedy, though. You can just have like a rolling life crisis.
Oh, I
Just
have that
so
now.
you don't.
Yeah.
Everything is justified by you're in some stage of a crisis.
Oh, 100%. I so who was it? It actually might have been her, but someone sent me something the other day where it said you're in a relationship, so
Mhm.
one of you has an existential crisis every night and the other one falls asleep immediately. And I was like, triggering.
Oh,
Because I'm the existential crisis one.
oh.
I go to sleep at night, and right before I go to sleep, I'm like, where did I take a wrong turn? I'm just like in life. How did I get here? And then I will usually like turn over and be like, hey, my life is weird and I hate it. And just be like, and she's like, cool. I'm like trying to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, no, me too, me too. Why is it the way that it is? So that's what I do every night. I don't know if is
That's
that your
really
night
funny.
routine? It's fun.
My nightly routine is an hour before I would like to be asleep. I take an edible, and then
So you much calmer, much more relaxed.
yeah, and then it depends. I mean, like last night I went to bed and I was watching like Righteous Gemstones, but most of the times I'll be like doing all the little New York Times crossword puzzles and the Sudoku
The
and
real one or the
spelling
mini?
bee. The
Oh, you
real
do
one,
all
but
the
I'm not good
games.
at it. Yeah, I do all the games. So I'll
We need
just
to
do the
talk.
games until I can't keep my eyes open anymore, and then
Yeah.
that's how I go to sleep. It's probably not good for me, but
No, so we're the same.
you know what's really embarrassing? A friend of mine that he was actually our head writer at Jim Jeffries' show. My friend Jason Reish wrote a New York Times crossword puzzle, and I texted him. I was like, "Oh my God, is this you? Is this you?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's I wrote that, months ago or whatever. It just came out, and I was so excited. I couldn't get fucking 10 words, and it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I was like, this is so hard. And then I was like, I'm so embarrassed because my friend wrote this. Somebody I worked on a show with wrote this, and not like I think he's very smart, but I'm like, how fucking dumb am I? That I can't even like speak my friend's language.
I mean, do you think that someone like that, first off, I don't want to blow up his spot, Mr. Reish, but he may have had some guidance. Is it fair to say?
Maybe. I don't know. He's very smart.
Well, I don't doubt
He's very
that,
smart. Yeah.
Mr. Reish. I think you're a brilliant man. But did he throw in any fun things like Blank Jeffries, an Australian comic?
You know what? Actually, now that you say that, not only did he not, but now I didn't even realize before that I needed to be mad that I wasn't included in the puzzle, and now I'm upset.
You or the
What the
Olympian version of
fuck?
you?
Me either.
Like if it said Olympian 15 medal
My
Olympian.
friend wrote a New York Times crossword puzzle and did not make me a clue. Like, what do I need to do here?
You know what I do? This is embarrassing. I have tweeted at famous people and been like, "You were a clue today. Did you know that?"
This is amazing. Oh my God. I did that one time. So not that. A more embarrassing version of that.
I don't know if
if
that
you
exists,
could
but go
believe.
ahead. Yeah,
So, I'm friends with this woman, Amy Phillips. She is brilliant.
we love you, Amy.
Amy's she did Second City. She does, I'm not a housewives person, but so
Sure.
I don't understand it. So I'm probably going to get things wrong, but she
I won't
parodies all
know.
the housewives women.
Oh, okay.
She had a show on Radio Andy on Sirius XM, and she does impressions of all the housewives, and she's a huge success.
What is
Years
that
ago,
like?
right?
Being a huge success. Yeah.
I will ask her.
Yeah, let me know.
She didn't reply to my last message, so we'll see.
Sure. Yeah.
But I messaged her one day. I was like, "Holy shit, you're in the New York Times crossword!" And she was so excited. And she looked and she was like, "Oh, it's Emo Phillips. It's not Amy Phillips." And then I felt so fucking bad because I was like, "Oh no!" Like I'm a stand-up, and I forgot that Emo Phillips existed for this moment. And also, like I played this weird prank on my friend on accident, where I was just like mean to her, kind of.
It's weird. I wasn't gonna say it. This is like weird to bring up on the pod, but like she did tell me about that, and she was hurt, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I felt bad
Yeah.
because I was just like, I think Lisa meant to hurt you. That's what I said to her, which is great. We're not even that close.
Anyway.
No, yeah, no. Why continue on that? I do. Yeah, I think about all that stuff of just like, if I ended up in a crossword,
Mhm.
hypothetically.
Mhm.
Number one, what would the clue be? And number two, would people hit me up and be like, "Hey, I found you in there"? Because my fear would be the clue would be
Mhm.
something awful. Like the
Sure.
clue would be like like blank lands at whose one ear sticks out a little longer than the other, sticks out a little wider, And then I'd be like, "That's me."
Mine would be, who took second place Polish princess in Northwest
So let's get
Indiana
back to that. It's
in
important.
1989?
Okay.
Sport?
So I'm sorry. You said in Indiana.
Uh-huh.
So there are a couple of things that we're now assuming here. So first off, we're assuming that there's a huge Polish population in Indiana.
Humongous.
So that's actually
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, Chicago. So I grew up in Northwest Indiana specifically, and I grew up like 45 minutes outside of downtown Chicago.
Wait, what?
And yeah. and
Where in Indiana? Because I
this,
lived in Chicago.
this little town called Cedar Lake. It's just across state line and just south a little. But Chicago, as you probably know, then after Warsaw is the second largest population of Polish people in the world.
They're everywhere, and I loved it.
So many, and so like my whole Polish side of the family is actually from East Chicago, which is not the eastern part of Chicago. Anyone visiting Chicago, just know that East Chicago is in Indiana, and it's a different vibe entirely. But yeah, huge Polish population, and my grandpa was somebody that was very proud of his heritage, and so he
Yeah.
got me involved in all this stuff. And then I used to speak Polish when I was a kid, and I lost it, and that's a whole story. But I just went to Poland for the first time in my life this April, and it was crazy. It was amazing. Anyway,
Holy crap! Did any of it come back?
No, it all sounds very familiar, but I'm
Okay.
like, I want to try to learn it, but it's so fucking hard. It's like all consonants. Nothing is phonetical. Like the and I only grew up speaking it, not reading it. So now reading it,
What are
I'm like,
you?
what the fuck does that say? Like it may as well be in Sanskrit or something
Which it
like
almost is.
it almost is. Yeah.
That's so I am Polish Hungarian, or sorry, Polish, Austrian, and German.
Okay.
If my mother's listening, she's gonna be like, "You better get these right." But the rumor, as I have been told, is that my last name Lanzette was before Ellis Island, where they made it cool, was Lancet, Lancet, which is
Oh.
apparently was a small, like little town in Poland.
Oh,
I
interesting.
know.
I
I've tried looking it up.
You gotta
Google
go to
does
Poland.
not
It's really
agree with it.
inexpensive, and it is fucking beautiful. I was blown away by Warsaw. It's spotless,
Really?
excellent food. Yeah,
Really? I
beautiful,
don't eat meat. Am I in trouble over there?
probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I
mean,
love how your face just dropped. You're like, probably yes.
yeah, I mean, you could get, like, borscht, but then, like, it usually comes with meat dumplings in it.
Yum.
But you can get fucking, sauerkraut pierogi or there's a lot of stuff I think you could
Sauerkraut.
get.
I would
Yeah,
love that. I came back. What
yeah.
was your favorite dish? I just had sauerkraut for lunch.
I just had a mountain of sauerkraut. Crazy sorry, this is like I'm going off in a totally different direction.
I'm into it.
But
Hit
when I
me.
was out there, I met some cousins and I saw like the town my family is from, the village my family is from, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of it for the fucking life of me. It's like 2.5 hours outside of Krakow.
If
Um
anyone knows it, I want you to just tweet intensely at least and be like, "How dare you?"
It's really, really small, and, I found out that one of my cousins who who died 2 weeks to the date after I was born. One of my cousins was, he was a Catholic priest, and he was imprisoned in Dachau for helping Jews during the war, and my family's home in that town is on a placard in the middle of the village, and it's listed as a notable place because my family conspired against the Nazis. I'm like, "How fucking cool is that?"
I would tell everybody that
Also, like, how did I just find this out in April? What's going
you just
on?
found this
I
out.
just found this out
Forget
for the
putting
first time.
comedian in your bio. I would put that in my bio.
Olympian slash
Yeah.
my
Slash my
family
family.
conspired against the Nazis.
Yeah. I'd be like, my family's on the right side of
Yeah.
history. Now, I need to know, do you smoke? Are you a drinker? How tall are you? I only do 6 feet. No.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've
Anyway,
not been to Poland. I would love to go. By the way, I've never sat like this in the pod. This is very weird that I'm doing
that's
this.
all
I'm
right.
like, I'm
I'm
like,
bringing it out of you.
yeah, I'm just like, hey,
It was
hey,
also my round trip ticket there was only like $600 or
there's
just under
no way that's
$600
true.
on Delta.
Were you in the cargo pit?
No,
What, how did
no, it
you?
was just it just nobody's going to fucking Warsaw.
I'll go.
It was amazing. Go.
No one has to convince. If someone says blah 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 Europe, I'm like, sure,
I'm the same way.
great,
It's really a sickness. If you guys were like, "Hey, we were thinking about popping over to Russia after this," I'd be like, "I mean, I guess why not?
sure.
I may as well check it out."
Russia is only one of the only places where I'm a little like, you know,
Maybe not right now.
like I would love to go to St.
Uh-huh.
Petersburg. I think it sounds lovely.
Sure.
When I was in Europe with a bunch of friends, I sound like a shithead. When I was in Europe with a bunch of friends, one of my buddies was like, "We should go to St. Petersburg," and the other one was like, "So, given the political climate, maybe not." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Touche. This guy knows what he's
Yeah.
talking about." And
Yeah.
we didn't. Instead, we went to Sweden.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never been.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place. It feels a lot like you just walked into a room and you're like, cool, all right, I've seen it. Like there's
Sure.
just like, it's wonderful. It's so great.
Mhm.
But it also was just like, it was like a small, cute country.
Sure.
There's something adorable about it. And I had a great time. And I don't necessarily know that I needed to spend more than 3 days there.
Wait, I have been. I've been to Stockholm for like a week.
Okay. Everybody, if Lisa smells bread, toast specifically, I'll tell you, and we'll flag it.
Just for a sec, I
Um,
was like, "No, it's Switzerland. I haven't been to, not Sweden."
Is it just
Different
like you were
area.
just like once you became a Polish princess, you were like, I don't even need to remember anything
It's
anymore?
because I'm
Your
like,
royalty.
mm-hmm.
Can you wait? So we're not
Uh-huh.
gonna like we will eventually get to the segment. I'm fine with that.
Uh-huh.
I will not. I will not rest until I get
Mhm.
the story of how you
Uh-huh.
was it runner up or you were the Polish princess.
No, I was second place. So there was a Polish princess contest. So we're all in like traditional Polish costumes and dancing and
Yeah, yeah.
singing and whatever else was transpiring. I don't really have any memory of it, although my only memory of it was first place got a huge trophy and I got a small, very cool trophy. It's a tiny little like gold crown with like a red velvet cushion inside. I love it. It's a
Oh, you still have it.
Not only do I still have it, but I just moved into a new place, but it's usually behind me, behind my desk on a shelf, so people could see it when I'm on a Zoom.
I
Because you
really
fucking better
hope.
believe.
I hope when you're writing for Jim, you just had it in the background. He was like, "Yeah, we get it. We got it.
That's
Nice,
the only thing I bring into
nice little trophy."
the girl I'm sharing the office with has a Peabody, and I'm like, but my only memory of it was because I was like 6 or something at the time. But the winner, the first place got a huge trophy, and I got a small trophy, and one of those little women my age will remember this. These popples, they were like these stuffed animals that folded into themselves. They had like a pocket on their butt, and then they folded back into themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I had wanted one forever, and I was like, oh, I fucking want fuck first place. First
Yeah.
place didn't get a popples. I got a popples.
So what's weird is when they think back on the festival, they talk about the fact they should have given the popple to the first place.
Yeah, because it was like another 6-year-old girl who was probably like, "What? What just happened?"
At age
I
6,
thought
were
I
you just like,
won.
"I've made it"?
More or less. Yeah.
Mom, Dad, I've made it. I'm a Polish princess.
Yeah.
Second place.
I was like, "This is pretty much like when Streisand was in Funny Girl. Same thing."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, I don't think Streisand felt as accomplished as you probably did. Well, I guess now is as good a time as any. Do you want to jump to the newly friend game for a segment?
Sure.
It's like the newlywed game, but we're friends. Unless there's something I need to know. I think I would have known. So the way this works is I ask you a question, you write down your answer, but you don't say it out loud. You write it down. I'm going to
Okay.
write down what I think your answer is. We'll
Okay.
flip our boards and see if we got the same answer, and then we'll do the same thing for me.
Okay.
We're going to do the same question today, but first we're going for you. So I'm going to ask you. Don't tell me, write it down. Your handle is Olympian Lisa Curry, but you're not an Olympian.
No.
But my question for you, if you could have a gold medal in any Olympic sport, what would it be? But don't tell me, write it down. I'm going to try and guess this.
Oh, shit. What are even the Olympic sports?
Well, should we narrow down to summer or winter? Because I feel like that might help. Which do you prefer,
Which
summer
games
or
are
winter
coming up?
Olympics?
Summer, I guess. But what else? What? Oh,
Are we doing summer or winter? And then I'll guess.
oh no. Well, I don't. Oh God, why is this so hard to choose? Like I'm gonna get stabbed if I don't
Well, so we do have a guy in the bathroom.
choose correctly. Let's say winter.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So,
Okay.
so what you're writing down is if you could gold medal in any winter Olympic sport, what would it be? All right. You ready to flip your board on 3?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Flip. Oh, that's a really good
Oh.
one. You said downhill skiing. I said snowboarding.
Oh, see, I've been snowboarding twice, and the last time I gave myself a concussion.
The second
I'm
time,
like
when I gave myself a
It's not.
concussion.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
It's not. But I'm like with skiing. So I was gonna say figure skating because it looks dope. But it's like, who can you impress if you can only like do it in an arena a handful of times a year? Like,
Nobody.
if you're an Olympic downhill skier,
Yeah.
you can go to fucking Vail on one of these getaways with all these rich fucks, and then you blow them
Those
away.
classic ones,
What
yeah.
is a better way to network?
I have literally seen, because I've been to Vail,
Mhm.
not a rich fuck, but wannabe. I
Same.
saw these people like with the. Have you skied a bit?
I've only water skied, so I've never been.
Okay, big dog.
What-
I like the people that have like the real crooked poles, like which just means like you're really good or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not a great
I
skier,
have no idea.
but I see the people do that, like doing like the swish, 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 swish stuff, and then they like come down and they're in like you could just tell they're in expensive outfits with like really expensive jackets, the fanciest goggles,
Uh-huh.
and I'm there in my ski onesie, and I'm just like, hi, you know. But I want to be them, but instead I'm just like. I'm the mascot.
Yeah.
I'm just
I'd
there.
be in like even worse. I'd be in like snow pants and a free hoodie I got from a comedy club.
Let me be clear. The onesie was free, and it says Bud Light Seltzer on it. So I'm not. I'm
and
not.
they're like, "You're sponsored." You're like, in a way,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm like, they needed to get rid of these, and it fit me. And it's mango flavor.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the same question for
Summer
me.
or winter for you?
I'm gonna stick with winter. I'm gonna write this. And then under it, I'm just gonna write the one that I love watching. I'm just gonna put it in little parentheses because I really do enjoy watching it. I'll give you half a point if you get it. I don't think you will.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
flip your board on 1, 2, 3. Okay, so all right. Lisa wrote curling. I wrote speed skating, but under it I wrote curling. Now the reason that I wrote curling, that I didn't choose curling, is because I want the gold for me. Like curling is a team sport. I want that
Oh,
gold
I didn't know it was a
solo.
team sport.
Well, one
Or
of
I
the
guess I
guys,
did. Oh, I didn't
he does a
pay
little
attention.
scrub brush. I'm not using the right lingo.
See, I was just thinking that one looks really easy, and I really want this for you. And you, and I thought, what is the most likely for you?
That is so sweet that you think in your head there's a possibility, no matter how remote, that I could actually, like, in your head, you're like, you know what? Like, if he put all
really
this time and
applied
effort in,
himself.
yeah. Listen, if you're 45 and you haven't gone to an open mic yet, it's not going to happen. But if you are in your 30s and you want to start curling, the time is now. I always thought speed skating was cool because I'm like, I love going fast.
Ooh, yeah.
And
It's scary, but it's fun. I've looked into stunt driving classes. They're like $4,500 or something. I really want, but I'm like, I
was
have.
there 100 at the end of the 45 there? That seems humongous. Okay. Yeah. Do they give you a car with that?
Yeah, no. You just get like a
4,500?
license, I think. Yeah, a friend of mine was in that movie Death Proof, and she was just an actor. She's an actor.
Yeah, way to
Tracy.
go.
And her Tarantino cast her and then paid for her to take stunt driving lessons. So I'm
Are
like,
you
how
for
fucking
real?
dope that you got to do that. Yeah.
And then you hit her up and you're like, I think I just saw you in a crossword, but it wasn't actually her.
That was like
Yeah.
totally different Tracy. I'm so sorry.
No, Amy's not alone.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, Amy, I did this to somebody else. No, I would love to do stunt driving. What a joy. Just to learn how to like
Looks so
fishtail
fun.
and like, do
That
the
or
other.
like boat stunt driving. Fuck.
Where are you going with boat
God, I
stunt
don't know.
driving?
Well, I grew up on a lake. I had a
Okay.
boating license when I was 9, so I'm like
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm a
Yeah.
very boating
Also me.
person.
Age 9, they give licenses to 9-year-olds.
Well, they did,
It's Indiana,
and then they changed the law as soon as I got it because I think the paperwork went through and they
It's
were
called
like,
Lisa's
what the
Law.
fuck happened? And so, but I was grandfathered in, so I was still able to keep my license.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. Yeah.
When are
I
we going
I
boating?
re-upped to the next year just for fun. I'm in boating and like painting are two things where I'm like, no, I'm an expert.
Oh, are you
Where
a good
in a way,
painter?
I used to paint houses for a living. So I
What
can
is
I
happening
also,
right now?
I also do like collages and stuff. I mean not like a good like not traditional art. I'm shaky at, but like
I'm worried that you're looking around here being like, not the best
no.
work. What is this? It's below eggshell. The mat is trash.
I am bothered by textured walls because you can't really. It's so hard to paint a mural on it
you
because
talking
of the
about that
way
right
that.
there?
Mhm.
Yeah. For those that are listening and not watching, Lisa
I know,
just told
this
me that
is-
my house is garbage. And
no, it's a gorgeous house. You
we-
don't even know. I'm not leaving actually.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, you can move in. We have two textured, something like that. Two textured walls. In our defense, and I do want to defend us. We didn't texture them ourselves. We moved in
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
textured.
Uh-huh.
You painted houses?
Yeah, my first job in LA was doing like construction.
What is going on right now? Like, this is the most confusing interview we've ever had on this
I'm not
podcast.
full of shit. I swear to God, all of this is. You
So
can
for
fact
those that
check
are
it all.
listening, I just want to be really clear. Okay, so Lisa, according to the discussion we've had, Lisa, first off, the most shocking thing is like actually knows how to do the crossword. I still don't know how to do that. She does the crossword, boating license, Miss Polish Princess, 1989. Okay, it paints houses and hasn't skied, but is a proficient water skier.
I'm like moderate. now.
Moderate.
It's been years since I did it regularly.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, me and your dad talked about that, which is weird. Yeah. I was like, does she water ski? And he goes, I don't keep up with her. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then I
he's
was like,
I
oh.
don't know. It's not. It doesn't impress me.
He's like, if she talked about it in her stand-up, I didn't hear it. And I was like, oh, fair enough.
Exactly.
You painted houses?
Yeah. Well, I did like full on construction because one of my mom's sisters, who's one of the bad ones, she's
never
a
cared for her.
yeah. Who does?
Well, it's a fun bit. You start doing that. I do that all the time. You start
No,
using
I love
it.
this so much. She is a general contractor in she lives in West Covina, I think,
I
Glendora,
only
West
know that
Covina.
from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Truly, I've never been to West
Oh,
Covina. Yeah.
but yeah, so I worked for her when I first moved to here. But she would, uh, although I'm an excellent painter, she would put me on all the bitch jobs. Like, sorry, I don't know if
Who
but
do you
she'd
think
have me
is
like
here? You just
sand.
like looked
Oh,
up.
she would have me like power sanding ceilings and shit. And
Come
yeah,
on.
$8 an hour.
Come on.
Get out of here.
You
Anyway,
you gotta. It's a neck crook.
it's with a power sander up there.
I
With
don't care
you
for it.
got goggles and you have to have a hair. It's a whole. I hate it. It
Yeah,
sucks. It was
yeah.
the worst. It was the worst.
When we saw this is gonna sound like the most obnoxious podcast in the world. Jess and I went to see the Sistine Chapel. I
Ooh.
know, we're really awesome. And and they're like, yeah, and Michelangelo painted all of this by hand. And I'm like looking, I'm like, no, would have hurt my neck too much. Would have given up after a day and a half.
Here's the thing. It is impressive art, people. Okay, I'm a huge art fan.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Also, what the fuck else did he have to do?
I mean,
Give me a break. He probably didn't. He probably set up a bunch of beams so he was laying down and painting. He's probably like half high on peyote or whatever. Give me a damn
that sounds
break.
lovely.
Yeah, if you had an entire lifetime, I'm sure you could paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Here's
Give me
the
a break.
thing. I heard that when he was off, he was working on his 401k and he was filing his
It's
taxes.
like, what are your followers on Instagram, my guy? Can you even make a TikTok?
You know what's weird? He tried once, never did it again. Never did it again because he didn't get the mouthing correct, so no one liked it.
I mean, I say this in jest, but also like truly when people are like, can you believe this artist in 1400 did this thing? I'm like, they did nothing else. Do you know what I could do with a fucking canvas and some paint if I didn't have to be on social media or answer my goddamn phone or like
That's the
it
phone
just,
is the
the
problem.
number of things that we're supposed to be doing at all times.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do. They weren't drinking 8 glasses of water a day. They weren't working out 3 times a week.
No. He appeared, and I might be mischaracterizing.
Were there even taxes?
Well, he
Yes,
did. He used
yes.
TurboTax, but he which is a cheat. He didn't really do them. I believe he might have been slightly rotund, a bit of a rounder gent. I don't remember if this is true. I just remember I saw David, and that was not round. That was
Yeah.
a very built man.
Yeah. Well, and now it's illegal to look at it if you're in Florida.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
heard that teacher lost her job. Yeah, I heard about that, which is funny because I was looking at it, and then I literally thought to myself, "Fire me," I would
Yeah.
love it. Seriously. No, but I absolutely loved it. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. The social media thing is funny because I think that you are one of the only people that I still go on Twitter to occasionally
Thank
read.
you.
How do you deal with that cesspool? I am baffled that you're still there.
It's this week I was like, I don't know if I want to still be here cuz I tweeted about Russell Brand and then I've been getting lately it's just been like a barrage of trolls replying to everything and they're like, "You don't know, you fucking bitch," and this and I'm like, this is really hostile. None of these people before I was like, I have such great followers because people would engage and like
Yeah.
even if they tried to like tag a joke and it bombed or whatever, I was like, I appreciate the engagement. And
Sure.
now it's almost entirely trolls. And it
Who happen to not
suck.
have a penchant for the Jews? I'm noticing.
turns out. But I don't know. It's hard to let go of because I had been told for so many years, like if you want to write for TV, you have to have a Twitter following. And so I built it up and I'm like, I have people I really admire following me on
Sure.
Twitter. Sorry, this is so sincere. But like people I really admire follow me on Twitter. And I'm like, it's not like, am I going to message everyone individually and be like, follow me on
Go to
Instagram?
Threads?
Also my yeah. And like, I have a Threads account, I guess. I have a Blue Sky account, I guess. I don't pay attention to either of them. I don't really use them.
I occasionally look at Threads and it's like, and I go to my feed and it'll be like, so and so tweeted 72 days ago. I'm like, okay, so no one else is here either. Like,
No one. Yeah, it's a ghost town.
yeah, but I think the trick, like, this is okay. I'm about to sound real crotchety for a second.
Please do.
There is so much hypocrisy on Twitter that drives me bananas.
Yeah.
And to be really honest, not to call out an app that I use all the time, there's a bunch of hypocrisy on TikTok as well. So like we're gonna get a little dicey. I'm in a bit of a controversial territory.
Let's go for it.
So like everyone was posting these videos about like the Danny Masterson verdict, okay? And everyone's like, he's so terrible, he does stuff. And I'm like, agreed.
Mhm.
And then these same people will be posting videos of them doing a new TikTok dance to CeeLo, who also has a very bad
Mhm.
history
Mhm.
of sexual assault. And I'm like, cool. So Danny Masterson, we
Yeah.
don't like, but let's get this new TikTok
Yeah.
joint for CeeLo moving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like what is happening here.
It's the look, I consider myself progressive, but sometimes I think we're wayward? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word I'm looking that's not
Made me think of Homeward
that's
Bound.
probably not it. And this is a lesser example, but like this last week when Lauren Boebert was caught like rubbing some guy's dick at a Beetlejuice thing and vaping, the number of progressives that were like, "See, look at what," and I'm like, guys, let's not act like you didn't just come from a theater where you were rubbing some guy's dick and vaping. Like
I've done it.
it, it's like
I didn't know him though.
call her out for policy things that are
Sure.
awful and how she's ruining people's lives and how she's an embarrassing hillbilly, but like to pretend that all of a sudden you're on some kind of like moral high horse where you're like, vaping, why I never, like, get the fuck out of here. Half my friends are on mushrooms as they're watching that video. I'm like,
Oh
what are you
yeah.
doing, man? It just is so stupid. I'm like, you're not helping anything.
No, the thing that bothers me most about that whole story is like,
Is that she was at Beetlejuice.
so I
What?
was about to say, so I
Are we
haven't seen the
serious?
Beetlejuice musical. Maybe it does make you want to
Oh.
rub somebody. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
about a fucking horny zombie. What are we doing?
Honestly, I think I would have been doing the same thing. And I'm
Honest to
not
God.
ashamed to say it. Not the vaping, it would make me cough, but the rest of it,
Sure.
I do love that apparently she was being loud, being like, "This is great," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Been there."
Well, and then I feel like progressives made things actually work. Like it's like sometimes people will be so far to the left that they loop back around and they're on the right because they were like, and the guy she was on a date with runs a bar where they have
Oh,
drag
drag
queen
shows.
karaoke or whatever. And I'm like, you're coming for drag queens. Do you
Oh
hear
yeah.
what you just did? You fucking moron. And then it like caused her to have this whole like thing where she came out and was like, I didn't know he had a bar with drag queens in it, and I never meant to date a Democrat. And I'm like, this is not what this wasn't the goal.
No.
This is embarrassing for everyone. Also, like, the planet's on fire, people are dying, and this is like
I'm not
really
trying
the
to laugh at
discourse
that.
right now. But
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're like the planet's on fire. I'm like, that's
yeah,
fucking true.
no, yeah, I was just in Austin for 2 weeks. It was 110 every day. It's on fire.
I don't like I was in God, everything I say just sounds like shit. I was in on the same trip that I talked about earlier, so I'm not like
Mhm.
just traipsing around Europe. We were in London and it was the hottest day in recorded record to the point where the train tracks were melting. And I was like, cool. So
Too
like,
hot.
yeah, are we all
Is there a
agreeing that
plan?
maybe there's like a little bit of a problem here? Like there
Mhm.
might be a little like earth problem. We might have an earth issue
Mhm.
at the moment. And then we saw that like everything got great after COVID because people stayed indoors and then all of a sudden like the skies were stunning and then people were like, we got to get back outside. Fuck the sky. And I'm like, okay, that all right, and we're
Yeah,
back. We're back.
it's pretty bleak.
Yeah.
We're in a bad spot.
What this has gone dark.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, oh, so we're gonna be closing this pod with Beetlejuice the Musical. We
Yes,
licensed some of
obviously.
their music, and
Uh-huh.
we're just gonna be playing that at the end.
We've rehearsed. Surprise.
I genuinely find that to be the most offensive part of the story. Like, why Beetlejuice the Musical, and why? And she also said she was
Yeah.
got nervous because she was so excited. She was anticipating it, was so excited. I was like, is the show that good? Like, is it?
Sure.
I feel like I have to see it
You're like,
now.
by the way, everyone involved in the production would fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a Republican going to any kind of art event?
Nope.
Everyone there hopes you die in your chair right now. Like, I'm like, just stay away.
100%.
What are you doing?
I wouldn't want to do that. Like
No.
there are multiple comedians who have gone the path of super right, right wing.
You mean failed comedians? Because that's always what happens. That's always what happens. They fucking can't do it anymore, and then they make a turn. That's my favorite thing. My favorite thing
I
is when they're
mean,
and I'll come and get me. I need the
is,
attention on socials.
is there one person where you're like, listen, Owen Benjamin, come after me.
He's terrifying, terrifying. But there is this thing on the fringe right wing comedians. I don't even want to
Yeah,
use the word comedian.
strong word choice. Yeah.
But their whole thing is like calling people on the left snowflakes. But then if somebody doesn't laugh at their jokes, they're like, "You're so fucking sensitive. You're a fucking pussy. You can't laugh at my jokes." I'm like, people don't laugh at my jokes. I've been booed. I could care less. I go home and I cash that check and I go right to sleep. I don't care.
100%.
You didn't like my set? All right. Write it down on a little piece of paper and light it on fire. I don't care. Get away from me.
I got
Like,
paid. I'm
yeah.
fine. And by
Yeah,
the way,
joke's on you. You work at Walmart.
whatever you say that you think is going to hurt my feelings, I can guarantee you both me and my fiance have said worse things to me. Like,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
I'm like, my own parents don't even like me. They're like not sold on the idea of Lisa Curry. So if you don't, that's okay.
I feel like we need to go to the final segment. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You seemed nervous by that. You're like, oh.
I don't know because I take questions so seriously. I mean, you asked me what sport, and I was like, "What am I? Oh no! Like, what sport would I want to?" And then I had to really think about it strategically, and I was like, "Well, what would do the best for me career wise, like in a longevity way?" Like I could have said bobsledding, but I'm like, how is that applicable to networking?
I
It's
wish
not.
I completely
Because
had
who do you
said
know that's a
bobsledding.
fucking bobsledder?
I know a
People
bunch of
golf and they
Jamaican
ski,
men.
and that's how they close deals.
Question one, and again, they're fast questions. They do not have to
Mhm.
be fast
Okay.
answers. So really think it through.
Okay.
What is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is brewing tea. I love to make tea
Oh,
for myself.
when I was just talking about this, just talking. Am I saying this right? Am I just talking
Okay,
about
do you
this
smell
ritual?
toast?
Just constantly, kind of just like a low, just like a little, like there's some burning crumbs.
Yeah, sure.
Embers of my brain.
Yeah, oh, mine are frying. Yep.
My favorite ritual is having coffee in the morning, and
That's
it's not
lovely.
even like I was telling. It's become like this whole tick where I have to have 3 cups in the morning. Listen, in a pinch, I can get away with just having 2. But,
3
like,
cups.
So I'm living with a friend of mine now, and her other close friend is in from out of town. We're both staying there, and he also drinks coffee in the morning, but he likes 1 cup, and this French press makes 3 cups. And every day that he's there, I have this like mental crisis because I'll share it with him, and I have it down to like, okay, I drink out of this same cup every day, and I pour it up to this place, and that's how I know I'll have 3 exact equal cups of coffee. But then when he comes and he has a cup of coffee, obviously I'm going to share because I'm not a fucking psycho. But then I'm quietly having a fucking breakdown in my head.
You're like, I'm gonna
And
have to make
he's
a
like,
second bunch.
do you really? Because then I will make a second one. And I'm like, well, you have to have more because I can have a 4th cup, but I can't have a 5th because that's
So
too much.
it's between 3 and 5 is your hot spot.
I
Or sorry, between 2
started,
and 4.
I really like something about 3, and it's not even, I don't even know it's a weird compulsive thing that it has to be fucking 3 cups of coffee, and I'll go to make another thing, and he's like, "Do you want more coffee?" I'm like, "I don't. I just have to." I actively don't. I'll be shaking, and I'll make another
You're like
coffee.
Dear Lord. Question 2. What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
I do roast everyone when I meet them though. There's a few people in comedy that do not like me because they did not understand that I was fucking with them the first time I met them. So I'm just like, well, I guess that's gone forever.
I'm sure you're devastated by
Yeah,
that.
I'm just like, well,
You're like, Crystalia hates
okay.
me.
I know. I'm too old.
Yeah. Ugh. Question 3. And
Mhm.
we're doing a brand new question for your episode. Okay.
Okay.
It's a new question.
Ooh.
What is a controversial take that you have? So, for example, I'll give you an easy one for me.
Mhm.
I think that and this is very lightweight. I think that marshmallows are awful. I think s'mores make no sense,
Okay.
and I don't understand why anybody would say that that's their favorite
So I
thing.
can say something that's light like that. We don't have to go hard.
We can go. Listen, I'll go hard too. I literally gave you Danny Masterson and CeeLo. I mean, I'll go hard.
Here's my controversial opinion. Violence is the answer. And I mean like, we see these Nazis rallying in Florida, fucking mow them down. What are we doing?
Can I tell you something? I don't know if that's like a insanely, I guess it's minorly controversial.
I have progressive friends all the time that are like, "No, you have to have a trial." No, no you don't. No, you don't.
Mm.
I am talking fucking cement, like one of those things that flattens out the street that from
Oh,
Toontown that like.
I was just thinking of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want Christopher Lloyd to come out in his getup and I want them to fucking steamroll all those Nazis. Goodbye. Oh, is your
I'm
family
ready.
sad? If Nazis in my family died, I wouldn't be sad because I'm
No.
not a pile of shit. Like,
Yeah.
just, and I'm not even saying like people with bad opinions or people that
No, no.
say fucked up things or like, I mean, like, you're rallying in Nazi regalia. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You're done. That's
And
it.
yeah, if their
And
family
the
goes,
state seizes your belongings. All of your assets go to the
the Jews.
underprivileged.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at this. The Jews want to take everything
Yeah, we
already.
listen,
We haven't even put the system in place.
and
I
I'm
can't.
already ready.
I mean, I wish. It's disappointing that the left isn't also violent because that's what the right has on us. They're always going to win because they have the violence. You know.
Question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there a particular moment that really sticks with you?
Oh, I've definitely. I used to a lot, and now
You're like, no,
now
now I think I am great.
now a little less often, only because I look around and I see some of the half morons doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ!
And I'm
It's
sorry
like
that I'm doing this.
it's like when you're a kid and you think adults have their shit together, and then you're an adult and you're like, oh, literally, actually, no one has their shit together. Not a single person,
No.
especially not politicians, especially.
No.
It's like just because somebody wears a suit to work. Matter of fact, that means they lost.
Yeah.
You're wearing a suit, you fucking lost the whole game, my
I
guy.
haven't worn a suit since the last wedding I
Yeah.
went to.
But I'm like, I'm sure. I mean, there's been times where I've had like anxiety about stuff or like,
Sure.
but I don't know. Now it's almost flipped where I'm like, because I think because I'm not like one of the quote unquote cool kids in comedy, or I feel like I'm not like
I don't even think I've
one of the
met them.
I'm not on that list of top 100 whatever.
Oh my
I'm like
God.
I'm in no danger of being on any like vulture list or anything like that. I'm
Danger.
always I'm you know what? Maybe that's a running bit I have. Like if one of our friends is like tragically single and is like pontificating on like what her life will be like once she's, in a thing
Sure.
in a relationship, I'll be like, well, she is in no danger of getting into a relationship.
Harsh and so
Look,
real.
and I say I'm in no danger of owning a house.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, I'm in no danger of
safe.
being on vultures lists.
Yeah. But and now it's kind of flipped because I've had so many times where I've like had agents or managers or whomever tell me like, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't." And then I would just do it.
You're like,
And
I
I'm
just
like,
did
"Oh,
it.
I am uh, okay. I'm going to like when I recorded my album in London, and now this is just a brag. But
Well, we can link. We'll link it in the show notes.
oh, fun. Thank you. I recorded my album alive for a while in London, and it's my first album. And
Mazel.
thank you. And the reason truly when people are like, "Whoa, London." I'm like, "Yeah, it looks cool, but also the whole reason I did it over there was because I'm not like cool here." And so, like, I was reaching out to venues in the States, and every venue was like, yeah, we can give you like a Sunday night, but we won't promote, and you got to pay us $500. And like, just the terms were all fucked up. Where in London, there's this club that I do all the time, Top Secret there, that is the most fucking fun in the world. And they don't really do album recordings in the UK. Everybody just does a new hour every year for Fringe, but they don't they don't record, they don't monetize it. Partially because they don't have Sirius XM. Anyway, that's a different thing. So I mentioned offhandedly to the owner of the club, I was like, "Oh yeah, I really want to record an album." And he goes, "Well, we would love to host you if you'd want to do it here." So I was like, "Oh, let me think on that." And we emailed back and forth, and he staffed the whole thing. They promoted it to their email list. I sold out both shows. I kept the door like just they treated me like I was fucking royalty, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but I'm like that's how it should have also been here." It's like dumb that just because I'm not like Variety's top 10 comics of 1996 or whatever, like I just,
Well, no, it was 1989.
1989. But then like at the time I had a manager who was actively discouraging me from he was like, "Well, I don't understand, like you're going to record in," because he wanted me to go with a record company. And he was like, "So it's a 50-50 split." And I was like, "No, that's a bad deal." He's like, "It's actually a very good deal." And I was like, "No, half of my income in perpetuity?"
No.
No, I was like, "I'll do it myself." And he's like, "Well, I don't know that you'll get it on Sirius XM." And I was like, "I will though."
And then you
And so I
did.
produced it, and yeah, I produced my whole album for like $600 all in. And then made a fortune off of it on Sirius XM.
I
Where
hope
it's
that
like,
you fired this manager.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I like him personally, but I was like, this is not good advice.
Last question for you. I say, what is your favorite tea or comfort? But you drink tea. So what's your favorite tea?
There's this tea I get at this little apothecary in Dunedin, Florida, and it's like a rose and something floral. It's so delicious. Although I have to say, this tea you gave me, that's probably my favorite black tea ever.
We
That's
did it.
excellent.
We did it, team.
I
We
love
got
it.
into your tops.
Yeah.
How do you feel? That's the pod.
That was fun. That was a
You
lot
feel
of
good?
fun. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. You're welcome
Yeah.
anytime.
Thank you so much.
That was Lisa Curry. You can find her at Olympian Lisa Curry on Instagram and Lisa_Curry on Twitter. Steep Conversations is produced and edited by Elliot G.B. Our associate editor is Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.
So I was having 6 motherfucking cups of coffee a day to the point
I'm like
you
stunned.
guys, my tongue turned dark brown. It
That's
was
not
like
true.
spotted.
That's not true.
It was
No.
spotted like a chow. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, does chocolate stain your tongue?
Oh,
And then I brushed it and it didn't come off for like 2 days. And then I looked it up and it was like either from chewing tobacco or too much coffee. And I was like, oh no. So then I had to cut back down to 3 cups a day.
I love how your cutback is to 3 cups.